everyone, you're watching Explore to Shine with Anu. Before proceeding to the video, please take a moment to subscribe to my channel if you have not yet done, and also hit the notification bell so you will be notified when we upload a new video. With no further delay, let's quickly dive into this.
This video is the 7th session of Tally ERP 9 and it is the second part of Voucher entries. So the content of this video will be, let's see how to make entries in journal voucher, sales voucher, credit note voucher, purchase voucher and debit note voucher. So here are some transaction. Depreciation on building at 5%. Outstanding salary rupees 17,000. Prepaid insurance rupees 5,000. Bought furniture from Prakash rupees 7,000 for credit. Sold machinery to Vikas rupees 6,000 for credit. Sold goods rupees 3,500. Sold goods to Rakesh for rupees 12,000 on credit. Goods returned by Rakesh rupees 6,000. Purchase goods from Sanjay for cash rupees 12,000. Purchase goods from Dinesh rupees 6,000 for credit. Goods returned to Dinesh rupees 2,000. Let's see how to make these entries in Tally. The first transaction, depreciation on building at 5%. Building value is 15 lakhs. So let's see how to do this. Let's go to accounting vouchers. So depreciation of building. So it has been entered in journal because it is an adjustment. For journal entry, we are just pressing F7. The depreciation on building, it will be on the debit side because it is indirect expense. I have to create a ledger by name depreciation on building under indirect expense. So what is the amount? It is 15% of 15 lakhs. So in order to calculate it, you are using calculator using Control N. Calculator will be activated for you. So just do the calculation here. 15 lakhs into 15%. So it comes to 2,25,000. In order to take the insertion point to the working area, I just press Ctrl M. It's 2,25,000. On the credit side, we have building. If you don't have that account, I'm just creating the building. Building under fixed asset. So building is asset, but still we put on the credit side because the building value decreases. So depreciation is indirect expense. Here the expense increases. That's why you're putting on the debit side, and building value is an asset. Asset value decreases. So the rule for asset is, if the value of asset has been increased, you're putting on the debit side. If it decreases, you're putting on the credit side. Here the building value is decreased. That's why you're putting on the credit side. So next transaction, outstanding salary rupees 17,000. So here the two accounts are outstanding salary and salary. And once again it has to be entered in journal. So outstanding salary, it is current liability. So liabilities will be on the credit side, and salary is an expense. Expense will be on the debit side. So in order to create the ledger by name salary, I'm using Alt C. If you already have a ledger by salary, there's no need of creating. So salary under indirect expense. So what is the amount of it? It's 17,000. And on the credit side, should have outstanding salary. All C, outstanding salary under current liability. And accept this. The next one, prepaid insurance, rupees 5,000. The two ledger accounts are prepaid insurance and insurance. Once again, it is in the journal Voucher. So debit side, prepaid insurance. So prepaid insurance, it is under current asset. It is 5,000. And on the credit side, we have insurance. If you already have insurance, no need to create insurance under indirect expense. So next entry. So bought furniture from Prakash, rupees 7,000 for credit. So the two accounts here are furniture and Prakash account. So furniture under fixed asset and Prakash under sundry creditors. So we have to create these two. And it is because it is on the credit base, you're just going to enter it in journal Voucher. So the same transaction, if it is for cash, you're going to put in payment Voucher. So now it is on the credit base, so you're going to enter in journal Voucher. If you're buying any asset for credit, then it has to be entered in journal Voucher. So bought furniture from Prakash, rupees 7,000. So it has to be entered in journal. So debit side, we are having furniture. So I'll just create it as furniture under fixed asset. Amount is 7,000. Credit side we have Prakash. Under sundry creditors. A person to whom the business has to pay money is called as creditor. So it is under sundry creditors. Other options are not required. Just accept this. The next one, sold machinery to Vikas, rupees 6,000 for credit. Once again here, sold goods means we have to take it as sales. Sold machinery, what is the account we have to take here? It is machinery, not sales. So it is an asset, you're selling asset. So it is machinery, and because it is on the credit base, you're just going to take the name of the person. So one account is machinery, the other account is Vikas. And it has to be entered in journal Voucher because it is on the credit base. If you're selling an asset for cash, then it will be under receipt Voucher. If asset is being sold for credit, it has to be entered in journal because we have not received the cash. Non-cash transactions are entered in journal. So debit side we have Alt C, creating as Vikas under sundry debtors. The person to whom you're selling is called as sundry debtor. So debtor is a person who has to give money to the business. So because we have sold the goods, he has to pay money to us. So he is called as sundry debtors. So what is the amount? It is 6,000. Credit side we have machinery. Alt C. Machinery under fixed asset. Just accept this. So next entry, sold goods rupees 3,500. Sold goods is nothing but sales. The other account will be cash, sales and cash. So you're going to enter in sales voucher. Whenever you have sold goods, if you are selling goods, it comes under sales voucher. The shortcut key for sales voucher is F8. Reference number, just give a number here. Debit side, it is for cash. So it is cash sales. You are entering cash here. What is the amount here? It is 3,500. 3,500. And on the credit side, we have sales. Sales under sales account. Inventory values affected. Yes. So next transaction, sold goods to Rakesh for rupees 12,000 on credit. Sold goods means it's nothing but sales, and because it is on the credit base, you're going to take the name of the person. So sales and Rakesh account, and you're going to enter this in sales voucher. Debit side, so it is on credit based, so I'm going to create the name of the person here, Rakesh, under sundry debtors. Amount is 12,000. The other account is sales, and just accept this. The next entry is goods returned by Rakesh, rupees 6,000. Goods returned by Rakesh. So it is nothing but sales returns. So whatever we have sold it, he is returning back. So it is sales returns and Rakesh account. And this you're going to enter in credit note voucher. Sales returns are entered in credit note voucher. And in order to make credit note, the shortcut key for credit note is Control F8, but I will not get here because I have not set the features. So F11, make this option, that is use debit or credit notes. This option should be S. Only then you'll be getting credit note and debit note if you are using the shortcut key. So now I'm using Control F8. Credit note, so credit side we have Rakesh, amount of transaction is 6,000, and debit side we have sales returns. Under sales account. The next transaction, purchase goods from Sanjay for cash rupees 12,000. So goods bought by the business or goods purchased by the business is called as purchases. The other account is cash account. So the two ledger accounts are purchase and cash. So it has to be entered in purchase voucher. F9 for purchase voucher. Purchase under purchase account. Purchase goods from Dinesh, rupees 6,000 for credit. So one is purchase account, the other one is Dinesh account. This also has to be entered in purchase voucher. So we are in purchase voucher. So credit side we have Dinesh. Alt C, I have to create a ledger for Dinesh. under sundry creditors. A person from whom we are buying, it comes under sundry creditors. Or creditor is a person to whom the business has to pay the money. So we have purchased from Dinesh and the business has to pay money to him. That's why he's called as sundry creditors. $6,000. Debit side we have purchase and just accept this. Goods returned to Dinesh, rupees 2,000. So one account is Dinesh, the other account is purchase returns, and this has to be entered in debit note voucher. So goods returned, we have already purchased and it is being returned to Dinesh. It has to be entered in debit note voucher. So for debit note, you're using Control F9 is the shortcut key. And on the debit side, we have Dinesh, 6,000. And on the credit side, we have purchase returns. Purchase returns, it comes under purchase account. So now let's see the entries now. Just come back to gateway of tally screen by pressing escape key. And now just come down to display, daybook and give enter. So in order to get in double entry mode, just press Alt F1. The first we have depreciation on building. So depreciation on building on the debit side and building on the credit side. Depreciation has to be entered in journal because it is an adjustment. So value of building is being decreased by 15%. So building is an asset, but we are putting on the credit side because the building value decreases. So next is outstanding salary. One is salary account. It comes under indirect expense. Group is indirect expense and it is on the debit side. And outstanding salary, it is liability, so it comes under credit side. The next entry will be prepaid insurance. The two accounts are prepaid insurance and insurance. Prepaid insurance, it is an asset, so it is on the debit side, and insurance, it is on the credit side. Asset value increases, you're putting on the debit side. Insurance is expense. Expense decreases, so you're putting on the credit side. The next one, purchasing furniture on credit basis. You're purchasing furniture from Prakash, that is on the credit base. So furniture on the debit side and Prakash on the credit side, and it has to be entered in journal because asset purchased for credit is being entered in journal. And next one, sold machinery to Vikas. So one is machinery, the other one is Vikas, and it has to be entered in journal because it is on the credit base. Next we have sales returns, which has to be entered in credit note. Sales returns on the debit side and Rakesh on the credit side. Next one we have debit note voucher, that is purchase return will be entered in debit note voucher. Purchase returns will be on the credit side and Dinesh on the debit side. Next, we have cash sales. Cash always on the credit side and cash on the debit side, and it is being entered in sales voucher. Next one, sold goods for credit. That is to Rakesh. Sales on the credit side and Rakesh on the debit side. Next one is we have cash purchase. Purchase goods for cash. Purchase will be always on the debit side. Cash on the credit side, and it is in purchase voucher. Next one, purchasing goods for credit from Dinesh. One is Dinesh account, the other one is purchase account, and this also will be entered in purchase voucher. I hope you have understood this.
That's all for today's session. Thank you for watching this video. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up and make sure you share it with your friends. See you in my next video. Until then, take care and keep smiling.